And welcome, sports fans, to today's Sports Roundtable. It's Easter weekend edition of the Roundtable right here on YHC and CMOSportZone.com. Glad you joined us for today's show. Really starting to get into the spring sports season here in the last few weeks. We've gotten underway. The winter sports season's wrapped up, all in the books. And we'll talk about that a little later as all state basketball teams were released this week for girls and boys basketball in the state of Missouri. And we'll talk about those players that reached those all-state teams this year, as well as some spring sports results that happened in the last days. So also we're going to take a look at basketball coaching potential changes. There has been some vacancies already, and those will be starting to be filled here in the next week or so. Some have already been filled, and we'll be talking about that later in the show as well. So even though spring sports kind of, not as much emphasis as the fall and the winter sports, such as football and basketball. Quite a few baseball teams have done quite well in the area. You've got Bell City returning as defending state champions in Class 1 in baseball. Other baseball programs that compete at a high level in the area as well. But during this time, you see a lot of coaching changes, especially at the football and basketball level. Got some news to report on in the last week that affects the coaching scene in southeast Missouri. So it's a pretty fun time. It's kind of like free agency in the NFL. I know a lot of media attention around free agency in the NFL. Late March and early April is kind of that time for the coaching scene in southeast Missouri. So we'll see how that shakes about in the next few weeks. So let's go ahead and touch on some high school baseball that took place yesterday throughout the area and take a look at those games. First, starting off with Scott City and New Madrid County Central. Scott City got a victory over New Madrid 6-2. Also from the area, have Kelly over East Prairie in a rout 15-2. Kelly gets that conference victory over East Prairie. Also, we have Zenith Hornersville over Hayti, big 14-0, and a shutout for the Zenith Hornersville Lions. Also from yesterday, we have Gosnell, Arkansas over Cape Central 9-4. Gosnell getting that victory over Cape Central. Also, Jonesboro over Cape Central 5-2. And also we have from this three-way here, Jackson over Sykeston 3-2. SEMO conference matchup there. But also in this three-way matchup, Willard over Jackson 12-0 in a shutout. And Willard got a victory over Sykeston as well in a shutout, 9-0. So quite the team there in Willard out west. And as they come away with two victories over Jackson and Sykeston. And those are the results from yesterday. Not a whole lot going on heading into this Easter weekend, but we'll be sure to report on quite a few contests taking place in the spring sports season in the weeks ahead. So look forward to that going forward. And we're going to take a quick break and be back with those all-state basketball teams that were released this week from the Missouri Basketball Coaches Association. We'll be back with that coming up.
We're Harry Blackwell Ford in Malden, Missouri.
Hello, my name is Tim Ellison. Come see me for the best deal possible. You'll be glad you did.
I'm Blake Miller, and I'm committed to your total satisfaction.
Shop with us at Harry Blackwell Ford in Malden.
Deposit your check here or here or even there. Deposit your check wherever you are with First Midwest Bank's new mobile deposit. Just tap, snap, deposit. It's that simple. New mobile deposit from First Midwest Bank, serving the communities we call home.
The area's fastest internet just got faster. Introducing 100 meg internet, now available from New Wave. With 100 meg, there's nothing you can't do. Browse better, stream more, power every device. This is lightning fast internet designed to fit your family's needs. It's brand new, and it's the fastest game in town. Get 100 meg internet from New Wave, your local provider of the speed you need. Call 1 888 8 new wave today.
And we're having a bit of a technical difficulty. Okay, I think we might be all right there. Well, let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
You just can't do it anymore, but you want to stay in your own home. Bales is the place to call. Bales is committed to helping people like you to maintain your independence and live your life on your terms with dignity. Bales can help with your family getting paid for taking care of you. There is no need to live anywhere but our own home with Boot Hill Area Independent Living Services there to help. Just call 888-449-0949 or stop by 719 Tico Road in Kennett to find out more. Bales, Boot Hill Area Independent Living Services, serving Dunklin, New Madrid, Pemiscot, and Stoddard counties.
What is your emergency? Need assistance at County Road 61 and Highway 9. Help is on its way.
Clear! There's a better way to jumpstart your soil back to health. Apply Endzone to protect and increase nitrogen efficiency without killing bacteria. Apply Prevent to increase phosphorus availability and reduce fixation. Better yet, use them both to get more from your fertilizer investment and see higher potential yields. Ag Explorer, your prescription for healthy soil.
The competitive edge. It's the edge that sets you apart from your competition. Every business needs it. Now every business can get it. Partner with Advanced Business Solutions and give your business the competitive edge. Advanced Business Solutions, delivered by New Wave, offers scalable fiber optic-based internet solutions to fit your needs. Now you can download without the wait on a network designed for you. Call Advanced Business Solutions and get the competitive edge for as low as $39.99 per month.
We're Harry Blackwell Ford in Malden, Missouri.
Hi, my name is Richard Clark. Come by and see me for the best deal possible, and I'll take care of you.
Hey, I'm Robert Sandage, and I've been here for 17 years helping people with their financing needs.
Shop with us at Harry Blackwell Ford in Malden.
Oh, it's because it's on. Okay, this should do it. And welcome back, and now let's take a look at some all-state basketball teams. Those were released this week from the Missouri Basketball Coaches Association for both boys and girls for the state of Missouri. And let's take a look at those teams, first starting off with boys Class 1, as we had the Gideon Bulldogs advance on to the state Final Four, and they got a couple of players in there as Kason Lawrence and Alan Earnhardt, both seniors for the Gideon Bulldogs, getting all-state honors this year, and also Cole Nichols of Bell City. And great years from all three of those players, especially the Gideon Bulldogs. Kason Lawrence and Alan Earnhardt, a big part of the Gideon Bulldogs' success over the last 2 years as they went to the state tournament, broke through, and got to the state Final Four this year, coming away with third place in Class 1. Certainly a great team there in Gideon this year, and great that Kason and Alan were recognized as All-State this year. And moving on to boys Class 2, Jeffrey Porter of Scott County Central, big-time talent for the Braves over the last number of years. Easily an All-State honor this year. And Noah Vandiver of the Bloomfield Wildcats. Bloomfield advanced on to the state Final Four, coming away with fourth place this year, and defeated Jeffrey Porter and the Scott County Central Braves in the district championship on their way to the Final Four. And Noah Vandiver has been a big-time talent over the last 3 years as a varsity player and really stepped up his game this year to lead Bloomfield to the state Final Four. Had a big semifinal game there in Columbia. I think he had 28 points there in the semifinals, I believe. But a big-time year for Vandiver and the Bloomfield Wildcats. Moving up to Class 3 for All-State, Trevor Eisen of the Malden Green Wave getting All-State honors. He had a big year for the Green Wave. Big inside man for Malden with a very good year with Trevor Eisen. Also, Kyle Moore of Zenith Hornersville getting All-State honors there in Zenith Hornersville. One of the big-time scorers in southeast Missouri. Big-time performance against Kennett earlier this year, over 50 points scored against the Kennett Indians earlier in the year. So one of our better scorers here in the Boot Hill with Kyle Moore getting All-State honors. And in boys Class 4 All-State, Fred Thatch of Sykeston, only as a sophomore, getting All-State honors from the Sykeston Bulldogs. And also Al Young of Cape Central getting All-State honors from the Cape Central Tigers. And also, speaking of Fred Thatch, he was named Class 4 Player of the Year for Class 4 boys basketball. So quite an achievement for him. Fred Thatch, only a sophomore, getting Player of the Year in Class 4 high school basketball for the state of Missouri. So quite an achievement for him. He's only 2 years in. It's unbelievable. He's still at the JV level, but he's got a big-time game playing at the varsity level the past 2 years. He's certainly going to be a 2,000-point scorer in his career. That's saying something for the Class 4 level. Hardly do you ever get a 4-year starter for Class 4 and up. Class 4, Class 5, it's very difficult. It's very rare to see a 4-year starter at the Class 4 or 5 level, and that's certainly going to be Fred Thatch, as he's named Class 4 Play of the Year for this year. And taking a look at girls. Let's take a look at the girls class, girls all-state basketball team, starting with Class 1. Got quite a few names in here. We've got Callie Pickerel and Madison Gargich from Naylor. Naylor went to the state championship game this year. Got second place in the Class 1 state tournament. A great year for the Naylor Lady Eagles. Got 2 of their players as all-state honors. Also, Leah Cobble of Oran getting all-state honors for the Oran Lady Eagles. Moving on to Class 2 all-state teams. Neelyville went to the state championship this year, got second place. They got a couple players here for all-state. Chelsea Petty and Shelby Moon getting all-state honors from Neelyville. Also from Scott County Central, Janisha Daniels getting all-state honors, and also Mackenzie Smith of Greenville. Quite a few Class 2 all-state honors here from Southeast Missouri. Also looking at girls Class 3 all-state honors, J.C. Morgan getting all-state honors from Twin Rivers. Also Reagan Weiser and Breon Mueller of Saxony Lutheran. Saxony Lutheran went to the state championship game, got second place this year. So we got a couple players there representing Class 3 all-state. Also Megan Skaggs of Park Hills Central getting all-state honors, also getting Player of the Year for girls Class 3 for the state of Missouri. Megan Skaggs getting Player of the Year for Class 3. And moving up to girls Class 4, Taisha Mitchell of Sykeston getting all-state honors from the Sykeston Lady Bulldogs. Sykeston lost their district championship game to the Dexter Lady Bearcats. And kind of head-scratcher that Dexter doesn't have a all-state honor there. A little surprise there. We're used to seeing Dexter getting an all-state player. Seems like every year, but seems like not this year. I would have thought Garrison would have been in there as an all-state honor. She had a big year for the Lady Bearcats, but just not meant to be, I guess, for this season. So that pretty much puts the year in the bag for girls and boys high school basketball and all-state honors, as we've gotten quite a few players from Southeast Missouri getting all-state honors this year, so that's good to see as always, and we'll certainly see more for years to come with those all-state honors. And we're going to take another break and be back with a discussion about the Southeast Missouri basketball coaching scene for high school basketball. We've seen some vacancies come about and also some jobs being filled, not only basketball but high school football, and we're going to be back with that coming up.
Welcome to NFL Total Access,
the show that takes you inside the locker room and down on the field. With inside access to all 32 teams all year long. NFL Total Access, Monday through Saturday, only on NFL Network.
NFL Network, where football season never ends.
NFL Red Zone, the channel that brings you every touchdown from every game on Sunday afternoons. Watch the most exciting moments like never before, live in HD. Every touchdown from every game, live on one channel, NFL Red Zone.
And welcome back, and now we're going to talk about the coaching carousel of Massimo High School basketball. And it seems like each spring we see a lot of coaching changes. You see probably more than we have in the past year lately as coaches moving around quite a bit in high school basketball. Also got some football coaching changes that have taken place this spring as well. And first starting off with some basketball vacancies out there. I know Kennett's one of the premier jobs out there, out of the SEMO Conference there in the Boot Hill. Jim Vaughn, coach for the Kennett Indians, I believe around 10 years at the coaching helm for the Kennett Indians, has stepped down going forward, and that'll be a big job to fill. I know there's a lot of names being thrown around that may be a landing spot there for the Kennett Indians, but that job's yet to be filled. I know a lot of names been circling that might be candidates for that position, but it hasn't been filled as of yet. So we would probably expect a hiring probably in the next week or two there in Kennett for that boys high school coaching position. Probably one of the best jobs out there right now when it comes to Kennett being in the SEMO Conference, and Kennett's got quite the talent that's rolled through there the last few years, but pretty good coaching position there in Kennett, especially in the SEMO Conference. So we'll see how that plays out going forward. I know the Nutt brothers out of Zenith Hornersville and Woodland have both resigned their positions as basketball coaches. So we'll see what happens with those schools. Zenith Hornersville and Woodland both looking for high school coaches for their programs going forward. Those will be two spots to fill. Also, Haytie's right there in the mix as well. Haytie's got a job to fill of Dustin Ferguson going back to Clarkton to be principal. So that vacancy's there in the Boot Hill Conference, and I believe South Pemiscott's position might be filled. I think it's online, or it might be open. I think it's online. I believe it's online as a vacancy, I believe. I'm not sure if Aaron Bible's officially resigned that position or not, but I believe online it shows that the South Pemiscott basketball position is available. I could be wrong on that, but that's what it shows online anyway. So I don't know if I've heard official word that Aaron Bible has stepped down from that position, but I just would assume since it's available online that he has, but I didn't hear official word of that, but that's just the way it appears online. So South Pemiscott, potentially a position to fill there. So a couple Boot Hill Conference schools to fill there with Zenith Hornersville, South Pemiscott, and Haytie. Pretty good schools to go coach at. South Pemiscott and Haytie, they've done very well over the number of years. Zenith Hornersville's got Kyle Moore moving on, so that might be a more difficult position there, kind of restarting with that program. Haytie's got a good group coming back. Boot Hill Conference tournament champions, pretty much return all of their players from last year. South Pemiscott's got a very good team. They got a young team. It's going to be returning a lot of players, so that's going to be two pretty good programs to step into going forward. Also, taking a look around, I don't know if there's any more kind of big-time vacancies out there. We're still probably going to have some vacancies going forward with some schools now that have went on some good runs in the state tournaments. You might see some of those coaches may start to step away. We'll see, as some teams went later in the year than others, but we'll see how that plays out in the next few weeks. But there's going to be some pretty good programs to fill or be able to go to. We'll see if even coaches kind of leave their positions at where they're at, and that kind of starts a domino effect. That's how some of this works most of the years. You see some jobs available, and then coaches with already a position take those jobs, and then those jobs have to be filled, so you start to see a domino effect most of the time with these positions being filled on the high school basketball coaching scene. And take a look at football. Some football changes being made this week. Nathan Norman took a position up in Lindbergh, I believe, from Cape Central. He's had a great run there at Cape Central. Goes up to St. Louis for Lindbergh in that position. And Cape Central filled that position this week with Arlen Pixley. Arlen Pixley mostly known for his time at New Madrid County Central, having a really good run there at New Madrid County Central. And for the last 2 years, he's been the defensive coordinator for the Kennett Indians with his brother head coach Aaron Pixley. So he takes the Cape Central football coaching job. So quite a land there for Pixley with Cape Central, one of the better programs in the area over the last number of years. And got himself a pretty good job there. Being out of the head coaching scene for the past couple of years with Kennett as defensive coordinator and taking over the head job there at Cape Central. So we'll see how that plays out going forward with Arlen Pixley and Cape Central. And also Steve Rogers, longtime coach there at New Madrid County Central. He's been the head coach, also middle school, an assistant at the high school level. Was talked to be in the running for the head coaching position at New Madrid that's vacant. He actually takes an assistant job with Chaffee. Chaffee's got that dream team of a coaching staff there. Charlie Vickery heads that program up. Got a couple of big-time assistants. Steve Rogers is going to be added as an assistant to that staff. So got quite the staff there with Chaffee there at that Class 1 level. So Chaffee gets an additional assistant to their staff and might see some more changes going forward in both football and basketball in the weeks ahead. So it's like I said, it's pretty exciting to see these coaches, vacancies being filled and who's going to fill them. Are they going to be outsiders coming in, or seeing some other coaches switch, even sometimes within conference it seems like. So it's kind of that NFL. It's kind of got the NFL free agency feel to it. Quite exciting. I know SEMO high school basketball has a lot of attention to it. So any kind of coaching changes is a big deal. So it's pretty exciting to watch how it all plays out here in Southeast Missouri and the Boot Hills. So we'll keep our eye on it and keep you notified of all the changes right here on the Roundtable. And that's pretty much wrapping up that discussion and pretty much all we got to bring to you today. I know March Madness is in the thick of it, heading into Elite 8 play today. And I give you an update on those games that are taking place starting today as the Sweet 16 got wrapped up over the last few days. And the Elite 8 gets underway today and wrapping up tomorrow for Easter Sunday. And taking a look at the games taking place today in the West region. Top-seeded Oregon takes on second-seeded Oklahoma in the West region out in Anaheim. And that'll be at 5 o'clock this evening on CBS. Oregon 2-point favorites in that contest. Also in the South region, top-seeded Kansas will take on second-seeded Villanova. That's a 7:49 start on CBS. Kansas is a 2-point favorite in that one. And those are the 2 Elite 8 games today. And then you've got 2 Elite 8 games tomorrow. Taking a look at those games in the Midwest region. Top-seeded UVA, Virginia will take on 10th-seeded Syracuse. Had a late comeback over Gonzaga last night, the 11th seed Gonzaga. And that's at 5:09 tomorrow night on TBS. And Virginia's 8-point favorites in that contest. And also in the East region, Elite 8, top seed North Carolina takes on 6th seed Notre Dame at 7:49 on TBS tomorrow night. And North Carolina's 10-point favorites in that contest. All these teams will advance to the Final Four after this weekend. The Final Four will be set for next Saturday, the National Championship the following Monday. So we'll see who advances on to the Final Four in college basketball after this weekend. And other major news, the Golden State Warriors are looking to make history, and it's been the talk of the league for the whole year as they get off to a great start. I think they started around 20-0 for the season, and they're down to, 65-7 is their current record. 72 games down, only 10 more to go. And they've got many of these at home, and some of them are going to be pretty much surefire victories. Only pretty much the tough games come down to their last 4 games of the season. They have the Spurs at home, and then the Grizzlies on the road, and then they've got the Spurs on the road, actually a back-to-back with the Memphis Grizzlies on the road, and then the Spurs on the road, and then they finish up with the Grizzlies at home. Those last 4 games, their last 4 games are against the Grizzlies and Spurs, home and away for those last 4 games. So those are going to be their toughest 4 games. They've got to go 8-2 in their last 10 games to secure the all-time record for regular season wins. Of course, the record is 72-10, back to the Chicago Bulls in 1995 and 96 season, going 72-10, and they're 65-7 right now. So they can suffer 2 more losses and still secure that victory. So they can go 8-2 for the remaining 10 games and come away with that record of 73-9. That'll be the all-time record for the regular season. And they're defending world champions as well. They're going to be favorite to win the world championship this year. And to get that record, I know they're going to be playing for it. They're going for it, and they should. And might as well, because they got they haven't even clinched the first seed in the Western Conference. The San Antonio Spurs have an all-time season. They've only got 11 losses. I believe they are 60-1-11 on the year, and they're having the best season they've ever had. And you talk about the championship seasons they've had. This is the best team they've ever had. And they're getting second fiddle to the Golden State Warriors this year. So, and the Golden State Warriors have pretty much handled the Spurs this year. They've played twice, blew them out at home, and then suffered a close loss, I believe, last week. But Warriors had 2 guys sitting out and on the road with a back-to-back. But looks like it's the Warriors' year once again this year. But now pretty much the story of the league is whether they can get that 73 victories for this year, and they might even do better. They've only got to go 8-2 in their final 10 games. Got a victory over Dallas Mavericks last night, and they're cruising pretty good. So that's been the watch of the league so far this year, with the Golden State Warriors going for that record of more than 72 wins in a regular season. And baseball is about to get ramped up. Spring training well underway, and we'll see here in the next week. Next week, I believe, Major League Baseball gets underway with its marathon of a season, 162 games, but it'll be exciting to see the Cardinals get back after it in Major League Baseball. So we'll be looking forward to that next week. And that'll do it for us today, and appreciate you for tuning in as always, and we'll look forward to seeing you right back here with us next week. And until then, have yourself a great Easter weekend. Be careful out there, and we'll see you next week.